You're listening to WOCA, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
You know we're older than Barbie doll, by the way.
Yes.
We're older than the Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Katie Echeverry is on the phone. I apologize, Katie, if I'm saying your name wrong. She's a fashion designer and the founder, CEO, and creative director of Unique Vintage. The Barbie doll is celebrating her 60th birthday. I went online and I found what I think is a photograph of the first Barbie doll with a, what do you call it, a zebra stripe bathing suit or something like that, right?
One piece.
But here's the thing that you're going to like. I know you're excited about this, Robin. They were fashions from the 50s and 60s that are being recreated for ladies, not dolls, ladies.
Yeah, I love this part.
Robin, you'll be able
I know,
to wear.
I'm there.
Is Alicia listening? She can wear this. She can wear Barbie doll clothing. Hey, good morning, Katie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from LA.
Oh, from LA. Oh my gosh. You know I have a quick Barbie doll story to tell you. I went to the day old bakery, what do they call it? Have you ever gone to one of those things where they sell Twinkies and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Okay. I thought maybe LA didn't do that. But anyway, the lady, it was getting close to Christmas, and she was upset she couldn't find a doll for her daughter. And I went to the store and I got her a couple Barbie dolls for her daughter, and it was nothing, but it made her day. It was like I didn't realize how important that doll was to little girls, even today.
Exactly.
This was probably 10 years ago now, but it's amazing.
Yeah, very cool. So what we're doing, I started this company 18 years ago as a hobby. So never in a million years did I think that I would be working with Mattel to recreate vintage Barbie clothes, but that's exactly what we're doing. And for fall, we decided to choose some of the most iconic looks and recreate them, and they're from extra small to 5X, so it's for the modern woman, and we're really excited about it.
Really? And is there a website where I can go look at the photos?
Absolutely. It's at uniquevintage.com. We sell all things vintage inspired, and including these Barbie dolls. And we have some really cool things in the works for the 60th anniversary, which is happening in spring of next year.
Oh, 60.
And you might happen to see that #1 Barbie doll outfit that you mentioned earlier.
I did. Yeah. Okay. I'm on your site now. Oh, you have a Halloween collection too?
We do. We try to hit every single holiday. And we find that our customer just loves to be in the spirit of whether it's Barbie or Halloween, or we actually have something in the works with Coca-Cola. Like all things nostalgia, our customer really loves.
I love the tweed suits and the very career-oriented clothing look. I just think that's very smart, especially with the accessories, with the hats and the bracelets.
So much fun, and we use a lot of in our fabric. So since we're an online site, we make sure that most of the girls that buy these things, it'll fit no matter what size, and it's really, really a good deal.
So what does like Barbie wear today? Does she wear ripped jeans and stuff? And what does she wear now?
You know, it's funny. All modern fashion really is inspired by vintage. So you'll just see, old styles coming back. If you think about it, if you look at Kim Kardashian, she's wearing a lot of neon, so it looks like the 80s are coming back. So it's always taken from the vintage, decades.
Well, this is fun. Your publicist could be a model.
Yeah.
Alicia.
Alicia is great.
We had lunch with Alicia. Have you ever met your publicist?
No, I haven't met her in person.
Oh, my gosh. She's a model, and she's a designer. You two need to get together and cross this country or something. Just go to New York or something.
I love the coats that Barbie would wear, and I am so glad that the coats are making a comeback because they're very smart looking and classy.
Yeah, I mean, one of the ones that are most iconic is this red 1960s flare coat, and it has like a little bow at the collar, and it just flares out, and it's just perfect for this fall season.
Can I ask you something? These look like they're very affordable. I'm looking at the prices. Am I seeing the right numbers? $68? That's pretty nice, isn't it? Isn't that a good price?
It's a great price.
Thank you for recognizing that, because I work really hard to keep our prices low. So a lot of the dresses are $98, which I think is super fair and affordable. And like the coat I just mentioned is $158. So everything is pretty fair and affordable and a lot of fun.
Which is your favorite decade? I want to click on your favorite. Which is your favorite decade?
50s for sure.
The
And you'll see that reflected in the website because most of our product is 50s oriented with like the cinched waist and the full skirt. It's really flattering on any body type. And your listeners will love it because there's something for everyone. I mean, we have cute cardigans and we have trousers and we have dresses. So shoes. I mean, what lady doesn't love shoes?
Really?
And I love the faux fur. I just think that is like the most elegant looking thing ever. And the pillbox hat.
Yeah, for sure. We have like gold brocade, like fitted holiday dress with this great matching coat with the faux fur on the cuffs. Perfect for holiday parties, New Year's. It's really a great selection this year.
Oh, now I'm at the 50s. Okay. Oh, you know what this is? What's that show we're watching? Mrs. Maisel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is from that show, right?
Oh, I watched it just for inspiration. You know, her wardrobe is amazing.
And you also do novelty clothing for like Coca-Cola and Pantene and Golden Books and the Care Bears?
Yeah, we actually partnered with Pantone, Coca-Cola, Care Bears, and Golden Books all for next year. We're really excited because we're going to do it different than most things that you've seen that are very like young and very juniors. Our clothes are for a woman, and so they'll be very fun and unique, but also very wearable for 25 to 35, 45-year-olds. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that on uniquevintage.com.
And I think that you're going to change the wedding industry too, bringing back those wedding styles with the T-length wedding dresses.
Look at our mom's wedding dresses and think, oh, I wish I could wear that. And so we looked at a lot of 50s wedding dresses and are coming out with a collection in April. All T-length, very vintage, but also very affordable, all under $250. And so we're excited about that as well.
And you also have shoes on your website, and I love shoes. I must have 40 pair in my closet. And I love those green ones with the little tiny button things on there. They're kind of suede, and they go up to the ankle.
Oh, yeah. So cute. And we also have a lot of bags, and we made a Barbie train case. So I don't know if you remember, like, the little train cases that you could hold your Barbies in. Did you have Barbies when you were a kid?
Oh, yes. I still have them.
Robin loves
They're
Barbies.
like 50 years old right now.
Yeah, she couldn't wait to talk to you, by the way.
I got them.
Do you recognize any of the looks from any of the Barbies?
Oh, yes. You betcha. You betcha. You're so authentic. I got to hand it to you.
Thank you. Yeah. So we have a chain case that's the same as the boy carrier back in the day.
So one thing from a man's perspective is that if I ever go to shop for a lady, I have no clue what I'm looking at if it's on the hanger. It has to be on a mannequin. That's the only way I can know what it's going to look like. So the fact that all these items are on models and on your website, that helps a guy, because we don't know what we're looking at if it's just a clothing, right? Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And we photograph each outfit on 2 different people. We do it on a straight size, which is extra small to extra large, and then on a plus size, that's 2X to 4X. So
yeah, we see that here.
And the gloves are absolutely outstanding. I've got a couple gloves too, and even though I live in Florida, I still have
customer.
stuff.
You just, Kate, you got another customer. Do you have any plans on? Are they going to be in stores?
Yeah, we sell to over 500 boutiques worldwide.
Oh, okay.
Also, and then, of course, wherever you are in the world, you can shop at Unique Vintage. So.
And since you're partnering with Mattel for the Barbie doll, I mean, gosh, the adult woman can buy the clothing for her and then also get the Barbie doll with the matching outfit.
That's for sure. It's very exciting.
All right. Well, this is a natural for Alicia. If you're listening, come on. You got it. Alicia is an amazing designer, too. Did she share that with you, Katie?
No, but I'm going to have to send her some free Barbie clothes, I think.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, absolutely. She'd be a great model, too. So let's see. How do we get this at uniquevintage.com? Remember, there's a hyphen between the 2 words, right?
That's right.
Okay, unique hyphen.
For the buy and sell Unique Vintage, absolutely. We sell wholesale as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Katie, thank you for being on the air with us. I think you just made Robin's day.
Yes, you did.
Hey.
Thank you, Katie. All right, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Marion County deputies are investigating a fatal shooting yesterday at a Circle K gas station on West Highway 40 that left an 18-year-old dead. The death toll from Hurricane Michael has now climbed to 6 as reports of the devastation continue to show the scope of destruction by Michael. President Donald Trump is expected to visit the Panhandle on either Sunday or Monday. A federal judge late Wednesday rejected a push to extend Florida's voter registration deadline by a week because of Hurricane Michael. Inmates at a county jail in Walton County volunteered to clean up debris left in the wake of Michael. The NAACP Legal Defense Fund has asked the Florida Department of Education to take action against 6 schools in the state that ban dreadlocks and braids, and Busch Gardens Tampa Bay released photos of 4 new African penguin chicks at the park's rookery. Coincidentally, tomorrow happens to be African Penguin Awareness Day. Who knew? And that is your news brief from The Source.
Clap your hands, raise your voice, and feel your heart soar at Dollywood's Harvest Festival and Southern Gospel Jubilee, September 28th until November 3rd. You'll enjoy over 500 live performances free with admission, with favorites Gold City, Mark Lowry, The Isaacs, and so many more. Marvel at the artistry of true craftsmen and revel in all the rich colors of autumn in the Great Smoky Mountains. This is one fall celebration that is truly heaven sent. Get your tickets today at Dollywood.com.
Live on stage at the Ocala Civic Theater, Born Yesterday.
Crooked businessman Harry Brock made his fortune on junkyards and a lack of scruples during World War II. In the fall of '46, he's in Washington, D.C. to bribe government bigwigs into shady deals. Harry has brought along quite an entourage. His showgirl mistress, his perpetual inebriated attorney, and his yes-man cousin who keeps the drinks filled and the payoffs coming. Go see Born Yesterday at the Ocala Civic Theater from October 18th to November 11th. Call them for tickets. 352-236-2274.
Say, Larry, do you know what the difference between autumn and fall is?
No, Jan, what is the difference?
Well, autumn is a season, and fall is what you do just before you go to rehab at Palm Garden. Seriously, Larry, I hope none of your listeners ever fall and break anything, but if they do, I hope that they would call me and I would give them a free, no-obligation guide to their rehab.
If you need help, call Jan at Palm Garden at 854-6262. That's 854-6262.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
The City of Ocala Department of Recreation and Parks are proud to present the 35th Annual Light Up Ocala on November 17th. The fun starts on the square in downtown Ocala from 4 to 9 p.m. There will be food vendors, 4 stages of entertainment, Whoville, Themed Kids Zone, the downtown holiday skating rink, crafts, the Junior Sunshine Christmas Parade around the square, then at about 7:30 p.m., the official downtown lighting ceremony. See you at Light Up Ocala.
The 14th Annual Florida Bat Festival is October 20th from 10 till 5 at the Luby Bat Conservancy, 1309 Northwest. All right, 25 minutes before 9 o'clock. It's time for News Bites. This is the portion of AM Ocala Live during which Robin and I will read the news, keep our opinions to ourselves, and not offer any commentary. I guess that's the same thing. And we will not try to be entertaining. We'll keep it short. We'll be able to get between 25 and 30 stories into this segment. It has become a very popular portion of AM Ocala Live. 25 minutes that you can use your radio to catch up on the news and catch up with the news, I should say. Hey, we have a great sponsor, by the way. I want to thank for sponsoring this segment. They are One Stop Cooling and Heating, residential air conditioning services. Before any AC repairs are made, they will quote you a firm, flat rate. So be sure to contact them. We have an ad from them in just a little bit that you'll be hearing. In the meantime, thank you to One Stop Cooling and Heating. All right, listen to your radio now. We've got 25 to 30 stories we'll be able to get to you, and then you can get on with your own life and live your own news. The first story is actually, I'm reading it offline. It is from a news agency in Alabama, I believe. Their website is al.com, as in Alabama. After the roar and raw power of Hurricane Michael came thundering through this once picturesque beach town on Florida's Gulf Coast Wednesday night, it left in its wake a fabulous blue sky on what would otherwise be a beautiful fall day by the beach. Birds continued to sing and dance in the trees, unaware of the mayhem and chaos that was being lived on the ground. Buildings, trees, and piles of rubble in the downtown area of the city groaned and creaked, seemingly exhausted after being pummeled by 150-mile-per-hour winds that had swept through the day before. Smashed glass and the debris from the inside of buildings was strewn on every street. Books, records, pillows, and even office chairs lay motionless next to random pieces of roof and other building parts. The distant sound of emergency vehicles entering the city, as well as helicopters landing at the nearby hospital, cut through the otherwise empty and eerie streets. Sandbags and wooden boards over windows remained in place, awaiting their faithful owner's return. I believe the town they're talking about is Mexico Beach. It didn't quite say that. No, it said Panama City. I'm sorry, that was about Panama City.
The Senate confirmed 15 of President Trump's judicial picks yesterday after GOP leaders reached a deal with Democrats, clearing about a third of the backlog and closing up shop through Election Day to give senators a chance to campaign. 3 of the judges are for the powerful circuit courts of appeals, while the other 12 were for district court positions. Many cleared on near party line votes, while others were approved by voice votes, reported by the Washington Times.
Let's see. A federal judge late Wednesday rejected a push to extend Florida's voter registration deadline by a week because of Hurricane Michael. U.S. District Judge Robert Hinkle ruled that there was no justification for the lawsuit filed by the Florida Democratic Party. Florida's deadline to register to vote was Tuesday, 29 days ahead of the November 6 election in the battleground state of Florida, which features 2 nationally watched races for governor and the U.S. Senate. But many elections offices across the state, the panhandle of the state, closed ahead of the fast-moving storm that slammed into the state one day later. Florida Secretary of State Ken Detzner, who works directly for Republican Governor Rick Scott, told local election supervisors that if their offices were closed Tuesday due to the hurricane, then they could accept paper applications on the day their offices reopen.
The Turkish government claims to have audio that proves journalist Jamal Khashoggi was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, according to a new report. U.S. and Turkish officials said that the recordings show that Khashoggi was detained by a security team on October the 2nd when he entered the consulate to obtain documents for his upcoming wedding. The security team then killed and dismembered Khashoggi. The voice recording from inside the embassy lays out what happened to Jamal after he entered, reported by the New York Post.
From the BBC, Washington has become the 20th U.S. state to ban the death penalty after its Supreme Court ruled the punishment was applied in an arbitrary and racially biased manner. The 8 people currently on death row in the northwestern state immediately had their sentences commuted to life. The news was welcomed by campaigners. A total of 23 people were executed in the United States last year, but Washington has not carried out the death penalty since 2010. Judges sitting on the Washington State Supreme Court unanimously backed yesterday's decision made during an appeal by death row inmate Alan Eugene Gregory, who raped and murdered a woman in 1996.
A French researcher has invented a robot finger that attaches to your mobile phone. It can wriggle across your desk. It can stroke your hand. And guess what? It's creepy. My PhD subject is around touch in communications, explains Mark Teissier, a researcher at Telecom Paris Tech Engineering School. When we talk with people in real life, we touch each other to communicate emotions, for example, a stroke on the arm. But for mobile devices and interaction in general in computers, we don't use touch at all. So my starting point was, how can we bring touch in human-computer interfaces? So he designed, built, and patented the mobile limb robotic finger, which plugs into a mobile phone and looks very much like a real finger. It can drag the phone across the table. Your friends can activate it and operate it remotely to give you a comforting pat on the wrist when they talk to you, reported by Reuters.
From CNN, Sarah Radney saw trees falling down all around her grandparents' home when Hurricane Michael roared over Georgia. She was safe until a carport came crashing through the roof. Michael's strong winds lifted a metal carport into the air before it crashed into the Seminole County, Georgia house and hit the girl's head, emergency officials said. She had been in the living room sending her family photos of the trees that had fallen, her father, Roy Radney, recalled. It was just a freak accident. I never heard of anything like that, he said. Sarah's grandmother, who was also in the living room, suffered a broken rib and punctured lung, but she survived. The family had to wait over 8 hours for paramedics to arrive due to the terrible road conditions. The 11-year-old girl and at least 5 others have been killed since Michael made landfall in the Florida Panhandle Wednesday and slammed Georgia and the Carolinas through yesterday, officials said. Sarah grew up about 45 minutes away in Cairo, Georgia, with her 5 siblings. She had just started the 6th grade and joined the drama club and the band. Her father says she loved playing the trumpet, acting, and singing.
The Dow plunged 500 points yesterday, exacerbating an 800-point drop the day before. That marked the blue chip average's largest rout since February. Investors remain on edge over tariff concerns and a recent jump in interest rates. President Trump added fuel to the fire by castigating the Federal Reserve for continuing to hike a benchmark rate that affects both business and consumer loans. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slid 546 points, or 2.13%, to close at $25,052.83. The index also fell below its average price over the past 200 days, a widely watched level that can provide support during sell-offs. Brad McMillan, Chief Investment Officer at Commonwealth Financial Network, said this is another bad day. One of the discouraging things is that the market really tried to rally during the day and it could not hold on to it, reported by USA Today.
From FoxNews.com, when Princess Eugenie weds Jack Brooksbank on October 12th, that's today, the focus likely will be on her gown, her royal cousins Charlotte and George, and how her mother, Sarah, gets along with the rest of the royal family. But one part of the wedding that stays mostly behind closed doors is the royally fabulous wedding cake. London-based cake designer Sophie Cabot, 33 years old, was chosen to make the cake for Eugenie, who is the younger daughter of Queen Elizabeth's second son, Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, and his former wife, flame-haired Sarah Ferguson. With great excitement, I am able to announce that I will be making the wedding cake for Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank, Cabot posted on Instagram. It has been the biggest secret I've ever had to keep. I'm thrilled and honored to have been chosen to create something so special and unique for this wonderful couple. Cabot started baking the cake on Wednesday for the Friday wedding, according to People magazine. It will feature 5 tiers, 3 of red velvet and 2 of chocolate sponge cake, and will be covered with buttercream, white icing, and autumn decorations. I'm trying to get to this part here, right here. Okay. She also revealed that the dessert will contain 400 eggs, at least 53 packages of unsalted butter, 33 pounds of organic self-rising flour, and 44 pounds of sugar. After all, it has to feed around 850 guests at Windsor Castle after the ceremony.
Illegal prostitution is causing sleepless nights for owners of brothels in Queensland. Prostitution Licensing Authority Chairman Walter Toots said the proliferation of massage parlors was hurting the licensed brothel sector. While there is, of course, the legitimate removal remedial and therapeutic massage clinic, many are clearly a front for illegal prostitution, which must be addressed, despite the inherent difficulty in acquiring the necessary evidence to secure a conviction, he said. Mr. Tutt also said that for the foreseeable future, the growth in the licensed brothel sector would be constrained, and the number of brothels in Queensland would probably stay at the current levels. While some brothels are highly profitable, others are of marginal financial viability. Brothel owner Julie Rogers called for changes to the industry, including allowing brothels to make out calls where sex workers would have a driver for security, increasing the number of rooms allowed from 5, and registering massage parlors, reported by the Brisbane Times.
From NBC News, Lindsey Buckingham, the Fleetwood Mac singer and guitarist who wrote the hit song Go Your Own Way, is suing the group for doing just that. The lawsuit filed this week in Los Angeles County Superior Court says he was kicked out of the band, which cost him at least $12 million in tour proceeds. He had been part of Fleetwood Mac on and off for 33 years. The claim names Stevie Nicks, Christine McVie, John McVie, and Mick Fleetwood, and reads almost as a history of Buckingham's contributions since he joined in 1975 on the condition, he said, that then-girlfriend Nicks was also accepted. Because of his influence, the suit states, the band became one of the most successful bands in the history of rock and roll. NBC News reached out to a publicist for the group yesterday but did not receive an immediate response.
A North Carolina family has some new pets after going to a local Kmart to try on snow boots and discovering a mother mouse and her babies. Shasta Ryder said she took her sons, Talon and Deacon, to shop for snow boots this week at the Kmart store in Bismarck, where one of the boys made a shocking discovery inside a boot in the store's shoe section. Shasta said, he goes, "Mom, look, I thought it was Vienna sausages rolling around the floor until they started moving, but then we heard them squeaking." Redderer posted videos to Facebook showing her sons rounding up the 7 baby mice and their mother. The mother said the store didn't want anything to do with the rodent family, so she and her sons took them home. "I let the kids take them home, let them get a fish tank for them. The kids put them in there, and they were happy ever since," she said. Ryder said the mice will likely be released once the babies are a little bigger. "So proud of them that they have that kind of compassion," Ryder said of her sons, "that they are willing to save mice when it would have grossed everybody else out." Kmart officials said the shoe section was searched, but no more mice were found. They said a pest control company was hired to spray inside the store as a precaution, reported by UPI.
All right, we'll take a little break and let's hear from our sponsor, One Stop Cooling and Heating, and then we'll be right back with more news. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Problems with your AC? Don't lose your cool. Call One Stop Cooling and Heating today. You know, the ones with the bear. Make One Stop Cooling and Heating your one stop for help. And with rebates and off-season pricing, fall and winter is the best time of year to purchase a new system. Contact One Stop Cooling and Heating today for 0% financing options with payments as low as $59 a month with approved credit.
So when your AC goes out, call One Stop Cooling and Heating.
OneStopThermoCool.com. Proud provider of Goodman equipment. CAC 1817167.
Thank you. One Stop Cool. The website again, OneStopThermoCool.com. OneStopThermoCool.com. All right, the next story is from the Spectrum News 13, folks. Inmates at a county jail in Florida volunteered to clean debris left in the wake of Michael, the strongest hurricane to hit the continental U.S. in more than a decade. The Walton County Sheriff's Office tweeted photos yesterday of deputies and inmates in prison stripes clearing the way in the Uchee Valley. The inmates volunteered to help their community following the storm because they've participated in programs to learn to use heavy equipment while incarcerated at the jail. Officials said 5 inmates recently graduated from the county jail's heavy equipment operations class, which taught them how to safely operate machinery often used on construction sites. Michael made landfall on the Panhandle Wednesday as a Category 4 hurricane with 155-mile-per-hour sustained winds, just 2 miles per hour below the threshold for a Category 5 designation.
A Pennsylvania family's home is drawing onlookers after their front yard tomato plant unexpectedly grew to a staggering 22 feet tall. Sam Kroom said he has been planting vegetables for years, but the tomato plant he put in front of his Bloomsburg home just 5 months ago is the first to shoot up to such an unexpected height. He said, I don't know why it got that big, but it just grew and grew and grew. He said his fertilizer recipe might be to blame. I fertilized it with a special concoction and just watched it get bigger and bigger. My family has canned them, made tomato sauce and spaghetti sauce. My children are just sick of eating the tomatoes, he said. The tallest tomato plant listed by Guinness World Records was a 65-foot plant grown by Nutriculture of Maudsley, England, reported by UPI.
From the Florida News Network, Busch Gardens Tampa Bay is ready to celebrate some very special milestones this weekend. 4 new arrivals and a first birthday. Tomorrow, October 13th, which happens to be African Penguin Awareness Day, park guests will have their first opportunity to help welcome 4 new African penguin chicks to the park's rookery. Guests can see the hatchlings in the Animal Care Center between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. According to park officials, this group represents the largest group of penguins ever hatched at Busch Gardens. Varying in age from 2 to 4 weeks old, the chicks are under 24-hour supervision with the park's animal care team. On Sunday, October 14th, park visitors can head over to the Jungala area to join in the celebration of the birthday of Malu, who will be 1 year old. Malu was born to first-time mom orangutan Luna last year. Park officials called Malu's birth at the park monumental, as Bornean orangutans tend to only have one baby every 7 to 10 years. Both African penguins and Bornean orangutans are endangered species in the wild.
The U.S. Supreme Court this week declined to intervene in a challenge to North Dakota's voter ID law, allowing it to remain in effect for next month's key midterm elections. The state's law says voters must show a valid government-issued identification with their current residential address to cast a ballot. The law was challenged by Native Americans on the basis that many homes on reservations lack standard residential street addresses, reported by UPI.
From the Associated Press, musician Kanye West jumped on top of a table at a Washington, D.C. Apple store following his widely publicized sit-down with President Trump and gave an impromptu 10-minute keynote speech, according to a reporter with Religion News Service per The Washington Post. West, according to reporter Jack Jenkins, announced he had made a hat for Trump that says "Make America Great," leaving out the word "again" because the original slogan hurts black people. Trump's campaign slogan during the 2016 presidential election was "Make America Great Again." Trump wore the hat, according to Kanye. The musician, before he left, said he was heading to Africa. The pair sat down for lunch at the White House, where they talked in front of reporters about West's contract with Adidas AG, overhauling prison sentences, replacing Air Force One with a hydrogen-powered plane, and other topics.
Testers at the U.S. Department of Defense have found vulnerabilities to many of the military's weapon systems. This is according to a new report by the Government Accountability Office issued yesterday. The testers discovered critical cybersecurity flaws in nearly all weapon systems that are under development. Using relatively simple tools and techniques, testers were able to take control of these systems and largely operate undetected. In some cases, system operators were unable to effectively respond to the hacks. The report is titled "Weapons System Cybersecurity." DoD, just beginning to grapple with scale of vulnerabilities, said the full scope of the vulnerabilities is not known because the tests are limited, reported by UPI.
From WIVB TV 8 out of Okaloosa County, Florida, a homeless man has been charged with molesting a 6-year-old girl at a school being used as an emergency shelter during Hurricane Michael. 60-year-old John Stapleton was charged yesterday with lewd and lascivious molestation of a victim under the age of 12. A witness told Okaloosa County Sheriff's deputies that she saw a recording of the child being touched in a lewd manner under her clothing. According to sheriff's reports, investigators reviewed the video and said that he admitted to touching the child, but that it was not in a lewd manner.
Firefighters in New Jersey shared security camera footage of a gas pump bursting into flames after a vehicle pulled away while still refueling. The Hackensack Fire Department posted a video to Facebook showing what happened on Wednesday at a Lukoil station. The video shows the vehicle pull away from a gas pump while amid refueling, with the nozzle still inserted into the tank. The pump breaks away from its base and ignites into a fire that the attendant was able to put out with an extinguisher. Once the the emergency fuel cutoff switch was triggered. Firefighters said no one was injured in the incident, reported by UPI.
From WEAR TV 3 out of Tallahassee. I'm trying to see the date on this one to see if it's still applicable. This says October 11th. That would be yesterday, so keep that in mind as I read this. The power is still out for most of the customers in Tallahassee. People love the trees in Florida's state capital, where canopy roads have large oak trees on both sides of some streets that branch out and meet each other above the traffic. Many of these trees were lost to Hurricane Michael, but the city has quickly cleared them from the busiest roadways. Grocery stores, gas stations, and drugstores are open and running on generator power. Traffic is busy despite police warning people to stay off the roads so utility crews can better restore power.
A runaway alpaca caused chaos for drivers in New York's Brooklyn borough when it ran loose in heavy traffic. A video posted to Twitter by Jacob Kornblue shows the alpaca, which onlookers incorrectly identified as a runaway llama, running loose in the street in the Borough Park neighborhood. Yeager, age 48, the animal's owner, said Alfalfa, the alpaca, had been bought from a farm in Woodbury, Connecticut, to participate in a Noah's Ark demonstration for Satmar UTA Yeshiva's kindergarten and first grade classes. Yeager said Alfalfa was only on the loose for a few minutes before being safely recaptured. You don't chase. You do not chase. You run after him and he will take off, Yeager said. We walked him into a corner and just grabbed him, reported by UPI.
From the Associated Press, North Carolina pastor Andrew Brunson is expected to be released from detention in Turkey and returned to the United States after a secret deal has been worked out, according to senior Trump administration officials. The secret deal is reportedly tied to a commitment to ease economic sanctions on Turkey and will lead to some charges being dropped against Brunson at his next court hearing today. We continue to believe Pastor Brunson is innocent, and the hearing today is another opportunity for the Turkish judicial system to free an American citizen. That statement from a senior administration official on NBC News this morning.
The owner of a West Miami-Dade pharmacy became the latest South Florida healthcare fraudster to plead guilty on Tuesday in Miami federal court, admitting to running an $8.4 million Medicare fraud. Miami Beach resident Antonia Perez, age 48, will be sentenced December the 18th. 124 South Floridians have been charged in June's colossal health care fraud sweep by federal prosecutors, reported by the Miami Herald.
From UPI News, a Florida ballot amendment in November could restore voting rights to an estimated 1.4 million released felons, including at least 180,000 Hispanics, possibly altering the political balance in the nation's largest swing state. There is no other issue on the ballot in November that matters more, according to Dave Lawrence, formerly the publisher of the Miami Herald and a child advocate. Univision's David Adams reported, "Surely we are a better people than this. Under existing law, felons have to wait up to 7 years after they've served their time before they can apply to the governor for clemency."
Then Trump political advisor Stephen Bannon was instrumental in pushing the Census Bureau to ask about citizenship on the full 2020 count, the government admitted in court papers yesterday. They are pushing for stricter enforcement of immigration laws, adding a citizenship question to the next decennial count. The revelation was made in a brief made public by the New York Immigration Coalition, which has sued to try to block the citizenship question, reported by the Washington Times.
And from the Associated Press, a Fort Wayne, Indiana barbecue joint has deployed to Florida to serve displaced residents and responders after Hurricane Michael. In a Facebook post yesterday, Lucille's Barbecue at 9011 Lima Road wrote that it sent 2 crews with smokers to Florida as part of Operation BBQ Relief. That is all the time we have for News Bites. Stay tuned. We've got a special broadcast coming up with Joe Martone calling in from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, from Dollywood. Can't wait to hear from him. How many stories today?
28.
We'll be right back with Joe. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. At least 11 deaths are now blamed on Hurricane Michael. We've just learned about 5 in Virginia. There are more than 1.2 million homes and businesses still without power and an unknown number of homes destroyed. Dawn Vickers in Mexico Beach, Florida saw hers float away.
And I thought that trees were going by, and I realized it was our house. It had been broken off the foundation and was floating around.
Search and rescue teams are still looking for anyone trapped. A California man's accused of threatening Senator Dianne Feinstein's life.
Authorities say Craig Shaver of Lancaster, California, sent an email threatening to kill Feinstein, the top Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee. He faces a felony count each of attempted criminal threat and possession of a firearm, a revolver, by a felon. If convicted, he could face more than 3 years in prison.
Fox's Lillian Wu. This is Fox News.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because Lowe's offers a full range of products and materials from brands pros trust, like A.O. Smith, America's most trusted water heater brand. In addition to tank and tankless water heaters and well expansion tanks, now you can get A.O. Smith water filtration and softening products at Lowe's, giving you everything you need in one stop. Plus, our pro team will load it all up for you, helping you get back to the job site in no time. So, pro, now that you know, start with Lowe's.
Indeed knows finding the right hire takes time away from your business.
Hiring a qualified data engineer felt like a second job.
More job seekers use Indeed than any other site, so there's no better place to find someone with the skills you're looking for.
I needed someone with a master's in computer science and database experience.
Plus, Indeed screener questions help you find your shortlist fast.
Now I'm back to having just one job.
See why more than 3 million companies worldwide use Indeed to hire. Post your job at Indeed.com/hire. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Source.com score total visits.
Clap your hands, raise your voice, and feel your heart soar at Dollywood's Harvest Festival and Southern Gospel Jubilee, September 28th until November 3rd. You'll enjoy over 500 live performances free with admission, with favorites Gold City, Mark Lowry, The Isaacs, and so many more. Marvel at the artistry of true craftsmen and revel in all the rich colors of autumn in the Great Smoky Mountains. This is one fall celebration that is truly heaven sent. Get your tickets today at Dollywood.com.
Live on stage at the Ocala Civic Theater, Born Yesterday.
Crooked businessman Harry Brock made his fortune on junkyards and a lack of scruples during World War II.